Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Summer 2015 Texas Tech University Commencement Exercises. Please join me in thanking the Texas Tech Commencement Band and conductor Sarah McCoyne, Director of Bands, for their participation in this afternoon's ceremonies. The Texas Tech Commencement Band is provided for today's exercises through the auspices of the Office of the President of Texas Tech University. Now entering the United Supermarkets Arena, the Mace of Texas Tech, the symbol of the university. The mace bearer is Dr. Fred Hartmeister, Professor of Educational Psychology and Leadership, College of Education. Following the mace is the faculty banner. The banner bearer is Dr. Roger Lichty, Chairperson and Professor of Physics, College of Arts and Sciences. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the faculty of Texas Tech University, led by University Marshals Laura Hines and Dr. Susan Tomlinson. Now entering the United Supermarkets Arena, the stage party, led by University Marshals Shelley Barba, Chair of the Convocations Committee, and Dr. Barrett McCool, Chair-elect of the Convocations Committee. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain seated and welcome the summer 2015 graduating class of Texas Tech University, led by University Marshals Carrie Simi, Dr. Alan Berenberg, Heidi Winkler, and Lynn Whitfield. Now entering the United Supermarkets arena, degree candidates from the College of the Honors College. The banner bearer is Nadia Tello. The University Library's banner bearer is Melanie Clark. Entering the United Supermarkets arena, degree candidates from the College of Arts and Sciences. The banner bearer is Melissa Ann Rafferty. Entering the United Supermarkets arena, degree candidates from the Graduate School. The banner bearer is Olga Powell. Also entering the United Supermarkets arena, degree candidates from the College of Agricultural Sciences and Natural Resources. The banner bearer is Darby O'Shea Sullivan. Entering the United Supermarkets arena, degree candidates from the College of Media and Communication. The banner bearer is Samantha Jo Hicks. Entering the United Supermarkets arena, degree candidates from the College of Education. The banner bearer is Nancy Guerrero. Also the degree candidates from the College of Architecture. The banner bearer is Sergio A. Elizondo.
Please rise and join us in the singing of our national anthem, played by the Texas Tech University Commencement Orchestra, conducted by Miss Sarah McCoyne and sung by Mr. Jody Kesey, who is receiving a master's degree in music education. Our national anthem. Please be seated. I'm Dwayne Nellis, president of Texas Tech University, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to the August 2015 commencement of the Colleges of Agricultural Sciences and Natural Resources, Architecture, Arts and Sciences, Education, the Graduate School, the Honors College, and Media and Communication. I would like to introduce the members of our platform party. Please hold your applause until all have been introduced. Mr. Larry K. Anders, member of the Texas Tech University System Board of Regents. Mr. Mark Griffin, president and general counsel of Griffin Companies and former member of the Texas Tech University System Board of Regents. Chancellor of the Texas Tech University System, Robert Duncan. Dr. Lawrence Skuvenek, Provost and Senior Vice President. Dr. Michael Farmer, Faculty Senate President. Mr. Ben Monticello, Staff Senate President. Mr. Holton Westbrook, President of the Student Government Association. Ms. Gloria Park, President of the Graduate Student Advisory Council. Dr. Kenneth Kettner, Horn Professor Representative. Dr. Comfort Pratt, Teaching Academy Representative. Dr. Mark Sheridan, Dean of the Graduate School. Dr. Michael Gallion, Dean of the College of Agricultural Sciences and Natural Resources. Dr. Glenn Cummins, Associate Dean of the College of Media and Communication. Dr. Scott Ridley, Dean of the College of Education. Dr. W. Brent Lindquist, Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences. Dr. Michael San Francisco, Dean of the Honors College. Mr. Andrew Vernoy, Dean of the College of Architecture. Dr. Bella Carr Gerlich, Dean of Libraries. Dr. Robert Duncan, Senior Vice President of Research. Mr. Ronnie Hammonds, member of the Texas Tech University System Board of Regents. Mr. Christopher M. Huckabee, member of the Texas Tech University System Board of Regents. Let's give them a round of applause. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Larry K. Anders, member of the Texas Tech University System Board of Regents, who will give the welcome on behalf of our board. Let's welcome Regent Anders.
Thank you, Dr. Nellis. Good afternoon. I'd like to ask everybody to join me, and let's give this group of graduates in front of me a rousing round of applause for their achievement in graduating. This is a big day. Hello and welcome to Texas Tech and the United Supermarkets Arena. Today, I bring you greetings from the Texas Tech University System Board of Regents. I welcome each and every one of you to our campus. I congratulate the parents, other family members, and friends who join us here today. And on behalf of the entire Board of Regents, I especially pay tribute to those of you who today will receive your diplomas. The fact that you're here today is a sign of your commitment and your dedication. You earned through hard work and dedication this degree, and we all congratulate you. I know this is a bittersweet moment for many of you. While you're eager to enter the next phase of your life, I'm sure that there are many of you who are already thinking fondly about the wonderful memories you created as a student here at Texas Tech. There are the friends that you made here in Lubbock. There are those favorite restaurants or the weekly activities. Maybe you participated in social or spirit organizations. Maybe you played sports or marched in the band. Maybe you'll simply miss the camaraderie you found in the dorm rooms or during the late-night study sessions. The longer you're away from Texas Tech, the more you will realize that it's the little things like that that make being a Red Raider special. Although, take it from me, once you've been in the working world a few years, you'll soon learn that the idea of getting a summer vacation is pretty special. You'll also realize that how special the traditions are that hold Red Raiders together and make us in many respects a family. Someday you'll be in a faraway city and you'll notice a double T on the bumper of the car in front of you. Or you'll hear the Matador song and something inside of you will leap in recognition and you'll feel an instant urge to stick your guns up in the air. You'll carry that pride deep inside you, so that even if you aren't wearing red and black on the outside, I hope that you will have it in your heart. And if you do, you will become part of another tradition of Texas Tech. You'll become part of a tradition of graduates who have left Texas Tech to become leaders in their families and their communities. Maybe you'll go on to become rich and famous. Maybe you'll lead corporations, states, or even our nation. If so, please remember me. But even if you don't, try to live by the words of the Matador song. Strive for honor evermore. If you do that, you will be successful. Please keep in touch. Remember, you're always welcome here back home. And go Texas Tech. God bless you, and God bless Texas Tech. Congratulations.
Thank you, Regent Anders. And now it's my pleasure to introduce the Chancellor of the Texas Tech University System, a person who's doing an outstanding job. Let's welcome Mr. Robert Duncan.
Well, when you first got here, we told you from here it's possible. Did you ever believe that you would be here today? It's a great day, isn't it? You are now a member of the alumni group for the Texas Tech University, a flagship for the Texas Tech University system. As you grow in your career and you go throughout this country, you're going to find that Texas Tech graduates are everywhere you go. Whether you're walking the halls of the U.S. Capitol, the Texas Capitol, whether you're working in the corporate world, in the world of entertainment, or in the healthcare settings. Our system, which is comprised of now the flagship, Texas Tech University, 2 comprehensive health-related institutions and medical schools, and a great regional university in Angelo State University with one of the finest scholarship endowments in the state of Texas. We're big. And it is fun to be big. It's fun to run into Texas Tech graduates when you're out in the real world. Don't do like I did, though, as you are chasing a Texas Tech, little metal Texas Tech thing on the back of the car. Be careful. It's always great to catch them and give them a guns up. But be careful and not have an unscheduled meeting with the DPS like I did. The other area of discipline is whenever you see a Red Raider, you say guns up, except in the TSA line at the airport. As you've traveled here through Texas Tech, I know you've been inspired by our talented faculty, and you've made lifelong connections and are equipped to take on the world. As you know, at Texas Tech University, as I said earlier, we say from here it's possible. And as you look around this campus, I hope you've noted the Rawls College of Business, the Whitaker College of Engineering, the John Walker Soccer Complex, the Mark and Becky Lanier Professional Development Center, and the Bob Hurd Department of Petroleum Engineering. All of those buildings were made possible by folks who were sitting in the very seats you were sitting many years ago. And they have contributed back to their university and as a reward for the success that they achieved as a result of what they learned and what they developed here and were inspired to do here at Texas Tech University. Their stories reflect the impact of higher education in Texas Tech. It's not just about getting a job, it's about inspiring and preparing people for success. And I think at Texas Tech University, we do that better than anybody else. We're confident that Texas Tech has inspired and prepared you for the successes that each of you will enjoy in your careers. You are now a member of the Texas Tech alumni family. It's your legacy, a shared heritage of greatness. We hope you'll come back often. We hope that you'll support your university as you become successful. We can't wait to see the great things each and every one of you will accomplish. Congratulations.
Thank you, Chancellor Duncan. And now it's my pleasure to introduce the commencement speaker for the August 2015 commencement. Today's speaker has been a wonderful ambassador and ardent supporter of Texas Tech University for many years. A 1979 graduate of the Texas Tech School of Law, Mark Griffin is president and general counsel for Griffin Companies, which includes Rip Griffin Truck Service Center and Pro Petroleum, Inc. He also is a former member of the Texas Tech University System Board of Regents. Mr. Griffin's background in giving back to the community exemplifies the outreach in which we encourage our students to engage during school and following graduation. He's a Lubbock native and a graduate of Monterey High School, and his service to his hometown is extensive. Mr. Griffin has served on many boards, including the Covenant Health System, the Texas Guaranteed Student Loan Corporation, and the Lubbock Independent School District Foundation. He also is a former director for Plains Capital Bank. Mr. Griffin began his career in law at Hance, Thompson, Thomas, and Sawyer before joining the Griffin Companies in 1981. He also taught business law at Lubbock Christian University from 1982 to 1985. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our commencement speaker, Mr. Mark Griffin.
Chancellor Duncan, President Nellis, Provost Chauvenet, members of the Board of Regents, distinguished faculty and staff, proud and relieved parents, calm and serene grandparents, distracted but secretly pleased siblings, ladies and gentlemen, 2015 graduates, good afternoon, and thank you for this great honor. I'm humbled and honored to be able to say a few words to you today, and my hope is this, that there'll be some word of encouragement or inspiration that you'll carry with you from this day forward. It's an honor to be a part of this special day. I sat in your seat 39 years ago, and I was trying to remember how you must feel. The enthusiasm, the eagerness, the excitement to move on with your life, if only the speaker would hurry up. Tempered by a little nostalgia for the friends and the routines you will leave behind here at this great university. In preparing my remarks for today, I asked a friend of mine who's rather blunt what, if anything, he could suggest for me to impart to you today. And his words back to me were these: whatever you do, don't tell them your future lies in front of you. That's the worst. I thought about this for a while, and I think he's right. Your future lies behind you, in your past. the relationships, the education, the experiences that you've had, you're going to draw on from this point forward. Since graduating from the Tech Law School in 1979, I've learned many things. But that the past is our greatest teacher is probably the most important lesson I've learned. The question to be asked at the end of an educational step, James Monroe said, is not what has the student learned, but what has the student become. Against this backdrop, let me have kind of a conversation of observations with you. And as you look to that North Star for your direction and your inspiration and your wisdom, consider some of these suggestions. Before you go out in the world, that great landscape of the sacred and the profane, I want you to do one thing for me first. Between now and Labor Day, take some time to explain to your family, and especially your parents, what has happened to you and within you these last 4 years. They need to know this because their last real recollection of you was as an 18-year-old kid they were sending off to college. They know at least vaguely that there's been a lot going on, that you've been very busy, but they don't know the details. And they don't know what the past 4 years have meant to you. Tell them that the good in you has gotten better. And also tell them that the not so good in you has gotten better too. Show them, in other words, that you are adult enough to appreciate a good thing, that you are grateful not just for the education that you received, but for the freedom you were allowed. Sit down with your family and tell them the story semester by semester of the education you received here, both in and out of the classroom. Now, let me make a little caveat here. You don't have to tell them everything, okay? Of course, the other side of the coin is you're graduating today. What are they going to do, cut you off? Tell them that you were forced to learn more historical dates and names than you thought you could ever remember. Tell them of the heroes and the villains of history that you'll never be able to forget. Tell them why you think some dead poets should stay dead. And then read aloud for them the poems you wish to remain always within you and within our culture. Tell them that you've learned how to be a learner. You've learned how to be a friend. And you've learned how to appreciate the beauty that each day brings in all its forms. So, let me encourage, at least initially, 3 bold things for you to consider. And I must warn you that outside of this campus, they may sound not only radical, but insane. Closed-mindedness, judgmentalism, intolerance. Closed-mindedness, because that great writer, G.K. Chesterton, said this: the human mind is like the human mouth. Both are meant to close down on something solid. Let me encourage you to consider whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is of good repute. If there's any excellence, if there's anything worthy of praise, think on these things. Be even closed-minded about it. Judgmentalism, because we have to know the difference between good and bad, between the beautiful and the ugly. We owe it to ourselves and the people around us and the communities that we exist in. Yes, prejudice is absolutely wrong, but a well-honed, hard-won habit of good judgment is a hallmark of moral and intellectual capacity and maturity. Seek good judgment. And finally, intolerance. Refuse to tolerate anything that weakens or cheapens our culture or compromises your principles. Now, this does not mean a refusal to listen. This does not mean that you're always right. But it's an affirmation that there's truth out there and it's within your grasp. With a little humility and confidence, and with friends and teachers along the way, you can keep building a culture that seeks more for itself than what's the latest reality TV show or the latest revelation on Twitter. Perhaps you've heard we've been referred to as a culture of adolescence. You can lead us into something else. You can actually be discerning adults. Now, wisdom is not a college degree. It's having some idea of what to do with what we have been given every morning and every evening and all that time in between. So, a few suggestions or recommendations, if I might. First of all, build your life on a solid foundation. Decide what is true and lasting and important to you, and use that to ground your decisions. St. Augustine used a beautiful phrase, ordo amora, the order of the loves. The most important thing you will do in life is choose your loves and order them carefully. We frequently act and we work like fame and power and stuff we collect are our true loves. Yet really what matters most are our faith and the people that we love. Because see, most of our inner chaos is rooted in disordered loves. There's an old story, and this predates barcodes and SKUs. I'm showing my age a little here, okay? One night, some thieves broke into a department store. And rather than take merchandise and things out of the store, they just changed the price tags. Sofas, TVs, computers were now 99 cents a piece. Screws, nuts, bolts, $999.99. Well, as you can imagine, when the store opened, it was utter chaos. Something like that has happened to our culture, my friends. We've assigned the wrong value to things. For example, if you haven't already seen it, you soon will in the real world. People value money over family. You're going to see many a person sacrifice their family on the altar of career achievement and financial reward. Here's the hitch. When we have disordered lives, we cannot have serenity. When we overvalue unimportant things and we undervalue important things, peace goes out the window. So the way to recover and restore that peace is to reorder our loves, giving priority to eternally important affections like family, faith, and friends. You see, when we reverse the price tags, serenity and peace return. Let me encourage you to spend more time listening. I was a practicing lawyer for a while, and at the risk of putting my credibility at stake, I must tell you that my first client got life, and that was probably the apex of my legal career. But there's an old saying about conferences between legal opponents, and it's this: the side doing the talking is losing. For the longest time, I thought the test of my value was what I had to say. I was a long time learning that there's value and transmitted respect in fully and completely listening to what someone else had to say, rather than spending the time with half my brain trying to figure out what I was going to say next. The ability to be a good listener is one of the most underappreciated talents a person or a country can have. It's not just what you hear by listening that is important, it's what you say by listening that's important. Never underestimate how much people just want to be heard completely, without interruption. And then they will hear you fully and completely. Lest this sound like a lesson in tactics, let me just say that it's not just other people to whom you ought to listen to. You ought to listen to yourself. Pay attention not to just your voice, but also to your unvoiced sensations, your pleasure, your anger, your unease, your unspoken but genuine sense of things. What are they saying? What are they saying to you? What are they saying about you? I've learned that if I didn't pay honest attention to others, I couldn't pay attention very well to myself. So spend more time listening to yourself as well as others. Now, a story to illustrate my next point. In 1859, there was a fellow who went by the name of the Great Blondine. He's a man who actually invented the High Wire Act and announced to the world in that year that he was going to walk across Niagara Falls on a tightrope. 5,000 people gathered on that day, including the Prince of Wales, to observe this man. Halfway across, Blondine stopped. He steadied himself, did a backflip, and landed safely and securely on the wire, and then continued to the other side. During that year, Blondine crossed Niagara Falls on numerous occasions. One time riding a bike, one time carrying a stove, one time he was blindfolded. And just as he was about to begin another crossing, this time pushing a wheelbarrow, he turned to the crowd and said this: "Who believes I can push this wheelbarrow across the falls on this high wire? Who believes that?" Every hand in the crowd went up. And he found a young man. He said, "Do you believe I can do it?" And the young man said, "Absolutely." He said, "Are you sure you think I can do that?" And the young man said, "I'm absolutely sure." Blondine's response was this: "Thank you, sir. Now get in the wheelbarrow." You've just received a first-class education from a first-class university. And you're leaving here today knowing a lot of things. But let me tell you something. One of these days, like that man, there will be a time when you know a lot of things, and it's not going to matter because of the terrifying nature of the situation that you've been presented, the scariness of your situation. And when that happens, you're going to have to decide, are you going to get in the wheelbarrow or not? And to further complicate this inner debate, I can assure you, you're going to hear two voices: the voice of fear and the voice of faith. To the extent that you listen to one, the other disappears. Now, I don't know what your wheelbarrows of life are going to be, but I do know this: the voice of faith, not fear, will guide you safely to the other side and provide you the greatest opportunity for joy and contentment. Let me encourage you to keep a journal. Now, for a lot of people, that's more difficult than tap dancing. Knowing you're going to write something every day, though, sharpens your attention to everything that's around you. With a journal, you have this companion you're going to point things out to. So you stockpile impressions and passing thoughts. Begin with modest expectations. A little bit at first. You're going to feel successful some days and you're going to fail some days. But that's not the measure of success here. The measure of success is what you think about what you've done. Let me put it another way. The way to be happy is to like yourself. And the way to like yourself is to do only those things that make you proud. That's the real reason not to lie or to cheat or to turn away in fear. There's that old line, that old joke. It's not very funny, but it's true. No matter where you go, there you are. That's true. And it's just as true in this respect. The person you're with most in your life is you. And if you don't like yourself, you're always around somebody you don't like. There are many people around and here today, around you today, that have great hopes for your future. Here are mine for you. First, there's going to come a time in your life when in order to succeed, you're going to have to trust. You're going to have to trust yourself, and you're going to have to trust your experience, and you're going to have to trust the people around you. And you'll have to make a big leap of faith. And when that time comes, I hope you will swallow your fear and get in that wheelbarrow. And I hope, secondly, whatever strong belief that you now hold is how you are going to define what success means, I hope you'll stay open to the notion that you've got it wrong. And be open and available and accept graciously your new awareness when it comes with gratitude and humility. And thirdly, I hope that you will only do things that make you proud so you can truly be your own hero. Because the models you choose and the heroes you choose for your life should very well match the challenges you are facing. Over time, you will grow. Your sense of self will change. You'll have new challenges and you'll choose new models, new heroes of excellence to meet those challenges. The model who was perfect at one time can turn imperfect as our lives and our needs change. Be careful about this. The model who taught us courage may be ill-suited to teach us patience. So we cannot hold inflexibly to our heroes or to our models. We cannot and we should not make them into idols. When times change, we have to let go of those models with a sense of gratitude. And the most important thing to let go of, the thing many of us struggle with to let go of, is our idea that our heroes are flawless. Would you put that idea away, please? If only because a view of such heroes begins to limit our own view of ourselves and our own lives. If we believe heroes are flawless, we begin to believe that we, being flawed, are incapable of heroism. Believing in the perfection of heroes can hamper us in another way, I believe. When we finally find out that our heroes are not perfect, but human, we can be tempted to dismiss all that is heroic about them. If no one is heroic, then why should I try? Let me assure you, flawed heroes are still heroic. Even Achilles had his Achilles heel. So your hero is flawed. Guess what? So are you. Congratulations. You have that in common. Now make yourself similar in another way. Go be a hero to yourself and someone dearly that you care about. So, what do we make of all this? As you pursue your goals in life, that is to say your future, let me encourage you to pursue your past. Let it be your guide. Insist on having a past, and then you're going to have a future. And please, don't descend too deeply into specialization in your work. That's a temptation today. Fight it. Educate all your parts. You'll be healthier and happier. And while you're at it, replace cynicism with that old-fashioned antidote, skepticism. Insist on heroes and know that you have the capacity to be one. Let me encourage you to read. The book is still the greatest man-made machine of all. Not the car, not the TV, not the computer exceed that. Write letters, keep journals. Because, hey, besides your children, there's no greater opportunity for immortality than through your writings. Serve your country and your fellow man. And insist that we fight the right wars, please. Convince your government that the real threat comes from within this favored land. Governments forget that. Don't let your government outsource honesty, transparency, or candor. Do not let your government outsource democracy. But let me warn you, steel yourselves. You've got to be prepared for this. Your generation will have to repair the damage, and it won't be easy. From my early days in Little League to today, a piece of advice that my father gives me and gave me that I still hold to today, and I impart to you for your consideration. Swing hard. Don't let fear of failure cause you to hold anything back. Don't be afraid to try something new. As the great writer James Baldwin said, your crown has been bought and paid for. All you have to do is put it on your head. Let me tell you what that crown says, ladies and gentlemen, today. It proudly says Texas Tech on that crown. And you know what else it says? You don't have to take a back seat to anybody, anywhere. Good luck. God bless you. Congratulations, class of 2015.
Thank you, Mr. Griffin, for that excellent address. Let's give him another round of applause.
We will now proceed with the conferring of the degrees. Would all candidates please rise? Degrees are awarded to those who have successfully completed all requirements established by the university and the faculty of their colleges and departments. President Nellis, the candidates are recommended to you for conferring of their respective degrees.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Texas Tech University System Board of Regents, I confer upon each of you the degree for which the provost has recommended you. You may now turn your tassels to the left. Congratulations. Also, at this time, those who have the official Texas Tech Alumni Association class ring may turn their rings outward. Each graduate will receive a complimentary one-year membership in the Texas Tech University Alumni Association. This gift is possible by the Office of the President of Texas Tech University in an effort to keep each of you connected to your alma mater. Again, congratulations, and please be seated.
We will now proceed with the recognition of individual graduates. We ask that you please hold your applause until all graduates have been recognized.
We will begin by recognizing those graduates that are receiving master's and doctoral degrees. We'll first recognize the graduates receiving doctoral degrees, the highest degree awarded in U.S. academic institutions. These graduates have spent years studying, researching, and writing, and have formed close relationships with their departments and the faculty. Today, by tradition, the graduates will be vested by the doctoral hood, which will be presented by the student's major advisor, which is an honor for the student and the advisor upon the culmination of the student's work here at Texas Tech. Following the recognition of the doctoral candidates, we will recognize master's graduates.
The banner bearer for the graduate school is Dr. Olga Polham, receiving the degree of Doctor of Philosophy with a major in English. She is being hooded by Professor Minju Kim. Receiving the degree of Doctor of Philosophy with a major in Agricultural and Applied Economics is Dr. Do Chong Bin, hooded by Professor Ryan Williams. Dr. Sonia Zivkovich, hooded by Professor Darren Hudson. Dr. Michael Ganchaga Kinyi, hooded by Professor David Lawyer. Receiving the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, the major in Animal Sciences, Dr. Andrew Hosford, hooded by Professor Bradley Johnson. Dr. Jesse Vipum, hooded by Professor Mindy Brashear. Receiving the degree of Doctor of Philosophy with a major in Biology, Dr. Saranya Ganapathy, hooded by Professor Megha Parajuli and Hong Chang. Dr. Sabeli Caillou, hooded by Professor Robert Baker. Dr. Julie Parlos, hooded by Professor Robert Baker. Dr. Stefanos Antonios Roussos, hooded by Professor Lou Densmore. Receiving the degree of Doctor of Philosophy with a major in Chemistry, Dr. Vidaru Talagama Ayachige, hooded by Professor Edward Kotevas. Receiving the Doctor of Philosophy with a major in Clinical Psychology, Dr. Christy Gardner, hooded by Professor Jim Clopton. Dr. Robert B. Watts, hooded by Professor Susan Hendrick. Receiving the degree of Doctor of Philosophy with a major in Counseling Psychology, Dr. Vanessa Coca-Lyle, hooded by Professor Susan Hendrick. Receiving the degree of Doctor of Philosophy with a major in Economics, Dr. Ray Heer, hooded by Professor Kaj Gettings. Receiving the degree of Doctor of Philosophy with a major in English, Dr. Carrie Fine, hooded by Professor Sarah Spurgeon. Dr. Luke Era Iantorno, hooded by Professor Brian McFadden. Dr. Andrew Keyes, hooded by Professor Jen Shelton. Receiving the degree of Doctor of Philosophy with a major in Geosciences, Dr. William Scott Gunter, hooded by Professor John Schroeder. Receiving the degree of Doctor of Philosophy with a major in Mathematics, Dr. Sarah Osborne, hooded by Professor Victoria Howell. Receiving the degree of Doctor of Philosophy with a major in Physics, Dr. Brittany Baker, hooded by Professor Roger Lechty. Receiving the degree of Doctor of Philosophy with a major in Psychology, Dr. Elliot Denard, hooded by Professor Stephen Richards. Receiving the degree of Doctor of Philosophy with a major in Spanish, Dr. Ana Acevedo, hooded by Professor Jorge Zamora. Dr. Yuriko Ikeda, hooded by Professor George Cole. Dr. Susana Villanueva Aguia Elise, hooded by Professor Gennaro Perez. Dr. Edith Lozano Pozos, hooded by Professor Gennaro Perez. Dr. Laura Valentin Rivera, hooded by Professor Adio Alola. Dr. Heath Wing, hooded by Professor Adoya Alola. Receiving the degree of Doctor of Education with a major in Educational Leadership, Dr. Jessica Cardenas, hooded by Professor Joseph Claudet. Dr. Alex Salazar, hooded by Professor Joseph Claudet. Dr. Melissa Shanks Fields, hooded by Professor Fred Hartmeister. Receiving the degree of Doctor of Education with a major in Higher Education, Dr. Amanda Smith, hooded by Professor Stephanie J. Jones. Dr. Thomas Sneed, hooded by Professor Colette Taylor. Receiving the degree of Doctor of Education with a major in Instructional Technology, Dr. Murat Karake, hooded by Professor Doug Hammond. Dr. Lianlen Wang, hooded by Professor William Lan. Receiving the degree of Doctor of Philosophy with a major in Curriculum and Instruction, Dr. Marquisha Iverson, hooded by Professor Margaret Peggy Price. Dr. Deborah Roden Johnson, hooded by Professor Margaret Peggy Price. Dr. Judy Knight, hooded by Professor Margaret Peggy Price. Dr. Mario Martinez, hooded by Professor Margaret Peggy Price. Dr. Jose Salazar, hooded by Professor Margaret Peggy Price. Dr. John Sherrill, hooded by Professor Margaret Peggy Price. Dr. Christopher Sloan, hooded by Professor Margaret Peggy Price. Dr. Marcia Sowell, hooded by Professor Margaret Peggy Price. Dr. Twyla Tasker, hooded by Professor Margaret Peggy Price. Dr. Jan Williams, hooded by Professor Margaret Peggy Price, and Dr. Todd. Dr. Jason Skelton, hooded by Professor Doug Hammond. Receiving the degree of Doctor of Philosophy with a major in Educational Psychology, Dr. Stephen Chestnut, hooded by Professor Kamau Sawatu. Dr. Sean Liu, hooded by Professor William Lan. Receiving the degree of Doctor of Philosophy with a major in Higher Education, Dr. Florencio Aranda III, hooded by Professor Valerie Payton. Receiving the degree of Doctor of Philosophy with a major in Special Education, Dr. Pik Wa Lam, hooded by Professor Robin Locke. Dr. Kate Piazza, hooded by Professor Robin Locke. Receiving the degree of Doctor of Philosophy with a major in Mass Communications, Dr. Adaniyi Bello, hooded by Professor Kenton Wilkinson. Dr. Mary Liz Brooks, hooded by Professor Shannon Burchard. Dr. Zi Zhuan Gong, hooded by Professor Glenn Cummins. Dr. Bonnie Tsui, hooded by Professor Glenn Cummins. Receiving the degree of Doctor of Philosophy with a major in Environmental Toxicology, Dr. Sarah Pappas, hooded by Professor Ron Kendall. Receiving the degree of Doctor of Philosophy with a major in Wind Science and Engineering, Dr. Richard Krupar III, hooded by Professor John Schroeder. Receiving the degree of Master of Science with a major in Agricultural Communications, Christina Chadwell. Receiving the degree of Master of Science with a major in Agricultural Education, Michelle Harre. Receiving the degree of Master of Science with a major in Animal Sciences, Caitlin Schellenbarger. Receiving the degree of Master of Science with a major in Plant and Soil Science, Amrita Dal. Niraz Rayamazi. Akriti Sharma. Receiving the degree of Master of Science with a major in Wildlife, Aquatic, and Wildland Science and Management, Catherine Leuenberger. Receiving the degree of Master of Architecture, Aaron Herman. Gilbert Avitoa Perez, Jr. Jose Miguel Ruvalcaba Dobbs. Taylor Patton. Matthew Smith. Daniel Budke. Paula Munez Garcia. Jesse Nudanuri. Receiving the degree of Master of Architecture and Master of Business Administration with a major in General Business, Christopher T. Santa Croce. Receiving the degree of Master of Arts with a major in Anthropology, Lisa Highsmith. Receiving the degree of Master of Arts with a major in English, Neil Durbin. Receiving the degree of Master of Arts with a major in History, Carson Ben. Tyler Boza. Francis Martin. Abel Rios. Receiving the degree of Master of Arts with a major in Technical Communication, Michelle York. Receiving the degree of Master of Science with a major in Applied Physics, Bandar Al-Harbi. Receiving the degree of Master of Science with a major in Atmospheric Science, Casey Griffin. Jennifer Christian Nauert. Receiving the degree of Master of Science with a major in Exercise and Sports Sciences, Rebecca Anderson. Dylan Clark. Shante Freeman. Christian Perez. Matthew Short. Lauren Stolen. Receiving the degree of Master of Science with a major in Forensic Science, Heather Hightower. Receiving the degree of Master of Science with a major in Geosciences, Jack Byers. Receiving the degree of Master of Science with a major in Microbiology, Rachel Sims. Diana Vargas. Receiving the degree of Master of Science with a major in Physics, Mabek Woods Adwasari. Christopher M. Stanley. Receiving the degree of Master of Education with a major in Bilingual Education, Alicia Mojica. Receiving the degree of Master of Education with a major in Counselor Education, Sarah Dingus. Jessica Hopf. Amelia Ramirez Mendez. Howard Paul Munser III. Receiving the degree of Master of Education with a major in Curriculum and Instruction, Tiffany Cooper. Legia Foreman. Gina German. Receiving the degree of Master of Education with a major in Educational Leadership, Chris Ann Blodgett. Justin Burris. Yvonne Valdez. Receiving the degree of Master of Education with a major in Higher Education, Sonia Moore. Receiving the degree of Master of Education with a major in Instructional Technology, Stephen D. Hayes, Jr. Receiving the degree of Master of Education with a major in Special Education, Laura Delcom. Kelly Dyer. Cecilia Arales. Tanya Hyams Gossett. Loretta Ann Harmson. Tiffany Helms. And Ruiz. Stephanie Annette Schwartz. Janelle Leanne Walta. Receiving the degree of Master of Arts with a major in Communication Studies, Samer Malem. Lauren Schaefer. Receiving the degree of Master of Arts with a major in Mass Communications, Lauren Arnhart. Jacob Koppel. Sabina Guru. Carolyn Heck. Darren Liu. Crystal Price. Amanda Cruz Samari Bus. Megan Diane Sprague. Lindsay Sweet Goel Rock. Veronica Claire Wicks. Receiving the degree of Master of Arts with a major in Interdisciplinary Studies, Eric Ariola. Ryan Dixon. Leanne Dross. Eamon Harb. Receiving the degree of Master of Arts with a major in Museum Science, Raquel Coleman. Amber Garcia. Andrea Moreno. Kristen Rodriguez. Jessica Schneider. Carrie Smith. Brittany Spraggins. Receiving the degree of Master of Science with a major in Environmental Toxicology, Rebecca Suzanne Cochran. Christina Lynn Cole. Kara Minton.
We will now recognize the candidates receiving the baccalaureate degree in the College of Agricultural Sciences and Natural Resources.
The banner bearer for the College of Agricultural Sciences and Natural Resources, graduating with a Bachelor's of Science in Agricultural Communications, Darby O'Shea Sullivan. The following students are graduating with a Bachelor of Science degree with a major in Agricultural and Applied Economics. Jackson Claiborne Bailey. Jerome Davis, Jr. Tyler C. Duckworth. Skylar Nicole Gilmore, magna cum laude. Chad Grady Purnell. Brendan L. Rudiger. John Richard Spikesma. Connor Flanagan White. The following students are graduating with a Bachelor of Science degree with a major in Agricultural Communications. Lauren Michelle Granger. Jessica Lee Napper. Aubrey Kyle Reinhardt. The following students are graduating with a Bachelor of Science degree with a major in Animal Science. Colton James Baker. Kimberly Nicole Dilly. Ethan Good. Alexis Lee Kleeman. Bailey Caitlin Rydell. The following students are graduating with a Bachelor of Science degree with a major in Interdisciplinary Agriculture. Colton Thomas Campbell, cum laude. Garydell J. Grubelnick. Brianna Kristen Rowland. Ashley Lynn Sintok. The following students are graduating with a Bachelor of Science degree with a major in Natural Resource Management. Joshua Michael Fogel. Shiloh Jeffrey Mulliken. The following students are graduating with a Bachelor of Science degree with a major in Conservation Law Enforcement. Tyler Wayne Reese.
We will now recognize the candidates receiving the baccalaureate degree in the College of Media and Communication.
The banner bearer for the College of Media and Communication receiving a Bachelor of Arts in Advertising, Samantha Jo Hicks, summa cum laude. The following students will receive degrees in advertising. Curtis Keith Knox II. Kayla Ann Mayberry. Courtney Danielle Mitchell. Hannah Elizabeth Walton, summa cum laude. The following students will be receiving degrees in Communication Studies. Erica Nicole Branch. Grace Isabella Connor. Justin Royce Hughes. Connor Paige Sims. Iris Giselle Soto. Hannah Margaret Tikachek. The following students will receive degrees in Electronic Media and Communication. Audrey Rose D'Antonio. Keith Green. Kami Nicole Hunt. Linda Bianca Parker. Wesley Ryan Quigley. The following students will be receiving degrees in journalism. Regine Elise Clyat. The following students will receive degrees in media strategies. Joshua Michael Barbie. Tyler Ashton Collard. Emily Marie Eklund. Jorge Eduardo Hinojosa Jr. Caitlin Ashley Newman. Mallory Ann Sanderson. Olivia Paige Sikora. The following students will be receiving their degrees in public relations. Christy Lee Cole, magna cum laude. Lane Connor Formby. Dixie Carlin Frechette, cum laude. Taylor Paige Glass, magna cum laude.
We will now recognize the graduates receiving the baccalaureate degree in the College of Education.
The banner bearer for the College of Education, home of Tech Teach, who graduates the nation's most prepared, rock-solid new teachers, is Nancy Guerrera, graduating summa cum laude with a degree in multidisciplinary studies, specializing in bilingual education. The following students are graduating with a bachelor's degree in multidisciplinary studies. Vanessa Bosques. Cynthia Severa, magna cum laude. Shay One Love Gonzalez, cum laude. Sonia Kroll, magna cum laude. Elizabeth Rana Caseda. Stephanie Marie Sanchez. Amber Ray Jimenez, cum laude. Maria Elena Aragon, summa cum laude. The following students are graduating with a bachelor's degree in multidisciplinary studies, specializing in bilingual education. Eduardo Basunis, magna cum laude. Araceli Cardenas, magna cum laude. Maria Isabel Coronado, summa cum laude. Jennifer C. Delgado, summa cum laude. Yara Jasmine Duran. Maria Carmen Egelus, magna cum laude. Martha Leticia, Martha Leticia Sicavel, magna cum laude. Daisy Fuentes, summa cum laude. Denise Arleth Garcia, summa cum laude. Araceli Satalali Guerrero, magna cum laude. Nancy Guerrero, summa cum laude. Cynthia Gutierrez, magna cum laude. Anel Montserrat Eldalgo Matrano, summa cum laude. Jovan Ibarra, cum laude. Maida Jimenez, summa cum laude. Candida R. Osagueda, summa cum laude. Alejandra Padilla, cum laude. Elizabeth Renteria, summa cum laude. Evelyn Roscoe Robles, magna cum laude. Anna Marie Sandoval. Marisol Lara Suarez, summa cum laude. Brenda Villa Chavez, magna cum laude. The following students are graduating with a bachelor's degree in multidisciplinary studies with a specialization in English as a second language. Paula Renee Brooks, summa cum laude. Jason Charles Ustios, summa cum laude. Stefani Guavos. Barbara Callie Desjardins, summa cum laude. Eric Xavier Estrada, summa cum laude. Mariah Lynn Jones. Charity H. Kincannon Kester, summa cum laude. Dawn A. Mason, summa cum laude. Ashley Deanne Mendoza, magna cum laude. Marilyn Nicole Langford, summa cum laude. Geneva A. Paul, magna cum laude. Emily Claire Ray, cum laude. Misty Nicole Rodriguez, summa cum laude. Carly Kristen Thompson, cum laude. The following students are graduating with a bachelor's degree in multidisciplinary studies with a specialization in special education. Amber Christine Dume. Kristen Lee Williams, summa cum laude. Celine Bampy, magna cum laude. Herline Anticara Katahan. Evelyn Carvarubias. B. Linda Garza, summa cum laude. Sylvia Lopez. Samantha Ann Martinez, magna cum laude. Kendra Lynn Simino, summa cum laude. Shelley Annette Sisk, magna cum laude. Selena K. Smith, magna cum laude. Janae Ravon Wilson. The following students are graduating with a degree in multidisciplinary studies with a specialization in middle-level English social studies. Stacy Gail Whitaker. Graduating with a bachelor's degree in multidisciplinary studies, middle-level education, math, science, Mariah Jo Robinson.
We will now recognize the graduates receiving the baccalaureate degree in the College of Arts and Sciences.
The banner bearer for the Honors College receiving a Bachelor of Science in Biology, Nadia Tello, summa cum laude with honors. The banner bearer for the College of Arts and Sciences receiving a Bachelor of Arts in Psychology, Melissa Ann Rafferty, summa cum laude with highest honors. Receiving the Bachelor of Arts in Anthropology, History, and Philosophy, Sarah Elizabeth Borden. Receiving the Bachelor of Arts in Anthropology, Taylor Janae Reed. Receiving the Bachelor of Arts in Biochemistry, Colin Patrick Moore. Receiving the Bachelor of Arts in Chemistry, Melissa Mansilla. Amber Paige Mayfield. Receiving the Bachelor of Arts in Economics, Sarah Elizabeth Brooks. Michael Caleb Clark. Justin Darnell Clay. Alexandra Christine Ramos. Ryan McCann St. John. Receiving a Bachelor of Arts in Economics and Political Science, Xavier Juan Strickland, summa cum laude. Receiving the Bachelor of Arts in English, Danielle Lauren Littlefield. Receiving a Bachelor of Arts in English and Psychology, Mark Anthony Tijerina. Receiving a Bachelor of Arts in French, Carl Rene Edward. Receiving a Bachelor of Arts in Global Studies and Political Science, Ashley Nicole Brannon, magna cum laude. Receiving the Bachelor of Arts in History, Emily Renee Acosta. Christian McCall Adams. Keely Janae Allen. Lance Allen Canterbury. Christy Ray Edwards. Matthew Donovan Finch. Taylor LaRoe Gregory. Matthew Aaron Hamlin. Macy Michelle Lane. Zachary Allen Nolan. Jordan Tyler Price. Flavio Antonio Rossetti. Megan K. Sales. Joel Calvin Smith. John Thomas Vukovic. Thomas Jefferson Wood. Receiving the Bachelor of Arts in Languages and Cultures, Kelsey Sean Madden. Receiving the Bachelor of Arts in Mathematics, Grayson William Ackerley. William Christopher Brasher. Receiving the Bachelor of Arts in Political Science, Michael Arthur Freyer. Flynn Wyatt Glover. Kelly Hunter Griggs Bell. Michael Albert Guaman. Kaylee Lou Long. Caroline Elise McKinney. Reagan Raspberry. Jasmine Lisette Rodriguez. Sammy Saad, cum laude. Quentin Edward Valdez. Receiving the Bachelor of Arts in Psychology, Giselle Alessandra Amador. Juliana J. Baxter. Marissa Nicole Brazil. Margaret Ceja. Cameron K. Davis, cum laude. Megan Jane DiTucci. Alexandria Elizabeth Fuentes. Emily Nicole Gracia. Jordan Avery Hook. Justin Dean Lanham. Samuel Frank Meeks. Kimberly Athena Miller. Leah Nicole Norton. Hugo Alan Ontiveros. Brooke Danielle Petty. Sergio Ramirez. Nathaniel David Rosen. Epifanio Silva III. Elliot Jane Swatzel. Triana Tesh. Osarime Sarah Unwango. Angelica Eleanor Michelle Walker. Kermitria Delicia Ward. Andrea Eloise Wetter. Dinora Giselle Ibarra. Receiving the Bachelor of Arts in Sociology, Stefan Michael Brannigan. Kelsey Ray Hayes. Elton James Higgins. Neportia Danae Jackson, summa cum laude. Molly Roxanne Cruz, magna cum laude. Alexandra Denise Lewis. Chance Ethan Steele. Receiving the Bachelor of Arts in Spanish, Gustavo Adolfo Chavira. Asia Monet Gibson. Nicole Andrea Trevino. Receiving the Bachelor of Science in Biology and a Bachelor of Arts in Technical Communication, Leslie Castro. Receiving the Bachelor of Arts in Technical Communication, Kevin James O'Brien. Receiving the Bachelor of General Studies, Victoria Elise Acevedo. Madison Mylan Bell. Joshua Randall Brock, cum laude. Lindsay Ann Burris. Dylan Angela Chavez, cum laude. Bhumi Nagimbai Desai. Ronald Cody Douglas. Kevin Walker Eltif. Lisa Carol Fitzsimmons, cum laude. Whitney Jordan Gallo. Alyssa Ani Gonzalez. Anthony David Gruber. Hannah Lee Harrell. Shannon Nicole Hughes, magna cum laude. Paul Hai Gwyn. Bradley Uzoma Onyegbule. Addison L. Pitts. David Leroy Pointer III. Jonathan Rodriguez. Prince Samuel. Brooke Nicole Scott. Cassie Hannah Shields. Colby Wayne Smith. Sierra Linnea Valdez. Alicia Renee Walker. Sean Craig Warner, cum laude. Mark Edwin Wiley. Receiving the Bachelor of Science in Biology, Bro Malaikab Ebe. Gregory Dodgen Alberts. Receiving the Bachelor of Arts in Spanish and a Bachelor of Science in Biology, Juan Manuel Aragon, cum laude. Erica Elizabeth Cecilia Banks. Luisa Sonia Dotson. Receiving the Bachelor of Science in Biology and a Bachelor of Arts in Psychology, Agatha Clara Eason, cum laude with honors. Brandy Lee Fernandez. Annalise Marie Fontana. Olivia Alexandra Graft. Brady Everett Gunter, cum laude with honors. Tyler James Kovacs. Leticia Rodriguez. Sonia Marie Salas Gonzalez. Oscar Sandati. Sean Abraham Thomas. Receiving the Bachelor of Science in Cell and Molecular Biology, Cody John Christian Hinshaw. Receiving the Bachelor of Science in Chemistry, Sung Young Cho. Receiving the Bachelor of Science in Chemistry and Mathematics, Leopoldo Diaz III. Receiving the Bachelor of Science in Chemistry, Michael Chase Franklin. Receiving the Bachelor of Science in Economics, Tiago Ribeiro Pinto. Receiving the Bachelor of Science in Exercise and Sports Sciences, Kristen Nicole Emerson. Rance Lee Andrews. Ethan Lane Acock. Robin Nicole Bermea. Kelsey Marie Bethke. Macy Elizabeth Bostick, magna cum laude. Emily Morgan Brown. Leslie Danielle Kane, cum laude. Haley Claire Cathy. Carson Brianna Cornett, magna cum laude. Cody Lloyd Cowart, magna cum laude. Joshua David Dale. Courtney Brianne Dethridge. Jared Daniel Dixon. Christopher Cole Elizondo. Angel Elaine Escobedo. Tomás Josu Feliciano. Cody Allen Friesen. Crystal Garcia. Matthew Don Garlitz. Tyra Angelique Jeter. Spencer Lee Goddard. Pearson Guy Grant. Tyler Hanberry. Jordan DeAndre Helm. Jessica Elizabeth Hewitt. Alexandria Audrey Joyce Hook. Erica Ann Shu, magna cum laude. Thomas Trey Johnson. Jared Matthew Kirchmeyer. Ashley Michelle Lickert. Austin Yeager Martin. Garrett James McAdoo. Zachary Lee McSpadden. Christian Emmanuel Nelson, magna cum laude. Travis Dean Newcomb. Hannah Marie Obidot. Robert James Olivares, Jr. Sarah Eileen Ovandapur. Courtney Paige Parham. Marie Page Parliament. Jacob Edward Phelps. Courtney Lynn Portera. Andrea Lauren Raymond. Ethan Saylor Reed. Isabel C. Reyes. Christopher Noah Roberts. Brittany Nicole Rubel. Taylor Brooke Sconyers. Oscar Alfonso Sevillano. Violet Ainsley Schaefer, cum laude. Jordan Curtis Simmons. Receiving the Bachelor of Science in Exercise and Sports Science and a Bachelor of Arts in Psychology, Kyle Morgan Thompson. Receiving the Bachelor of Science in Exercise and Sports Science, Taryn David Thompson. Katie June Underwood. Justin Weaver. Sarah Ashley Wilkie. Colin Christopher Young. Casey Elizabeth Youngless. Receiving the Bachelor of Science in Geosciences, William Eugene Armstrong. Clinton Ernest Carr. Donald Quinton Kramer. Alexander Lee Geis. Robert C. Party. Receiving the Bachelor of Science in Mathematics, Matthew Richard Barr. Shenqiao Huang, magna cum laude. Brianna Ray Lutz. Jordan Ray Nicholas. Fong Mai Christine Tran. Receiving the Bachelor of Science in Microbiology, Peyton Taylor Edmonds. Leticia Esparza. Receiving the Bachelor of Science in International Economics, John David Deans. Spencer Wayne Irwin. Receiving a Bachelor of Science in Exercise and Sports Science, Jaron Ross Dobbins. Receiving the Bachelor of Science in Biology, Waibi Emmanuel Bakama.
We will now recognize the graduates receiving a baccalaureate degree from the College of Architecture.
The banner bearer for the College of Architecture and receiving the degree Bachelor of Science in Architecture, Sergio A. Elizondo, cum laude. The following are receiving the degree Bachelor of Science in Architecture, Brian Anthony Johnson. Andrew David Lasky. Douglas Colin McLeod. Stephanie Monet Navarez. Jacob J. Prado. Timothy Brian Reed. Jonathan Philip Rodriguez. May Lynn Starnes. Fabiola Vasquez. Christopher Charles Verrett. And Itzel Villanfranca.
I know the audience would like to join me in another round of applause for our graduates. Congratulations.
The undergraduate students ranking highest academically on the basis of completed records in each of the 6 colleges will now be recognized. As I call your names, please stand and remain standing until all names have been read. From the College of Agricultural Sciences and Natural Resources, Darby O'Shea Sullivan. The College of Media and Communication, Samantha Jo Hicks. From the College of Education, Maria Argugon, Paula Brooks, Maria Coronado, Barbara DeJamet, Eric Estrada, Daisy Fuentes, Denise Garcia, Marilyn Langford, Nancy Guerrero, Lauren Emusho, Maria Gemez, Charity Kincannon Kester, Kendra Simoneau, Christian Lee Williams. From the College of Arts and Sciences, Naborsha Jackson, Melissa Ann Rafferty, and Nadia Tello. From the College of Architecture, Sergio Elizondo. Please join me in applauding the achievements of these honor graduates. The Alumni Association extends congratulations to each of the summer 2015 graduates. The association is particularly pleased to honor the highest-ranking students. Plaques from the association will be mailed to each of these students. All graduates are encouraged to maintain contact with Texas Tech through your Alumni Association. We will now recognize those graduates receiving their military commission. As I call your name, please stand and remain standing. Being commissioned as a second lieutenant in the Texas Army National Guard, Michael Carrata. Jordan Nichols. Please join me in congratulating these commissioned officers. We also want to recognize those students receiving teacher certification along with their degree. Will every student from every college who is receiving a teaching certificate please rise? Congratulations to these future teachers. Thank you.
You've also probably noticed some of our graduates wearing the veteran stole, the camouflage stole. I'd like our veterans among our graduates, as well as those veterans in the audience, including our faculty, any veterans, please rise and let's give them a round of applause. And thank you for your service. We now have come to the concluding moments of the commencement ceremony, but please allow me a few words before we end. Graduates, again, congratulations on a job very well done. Let me assure you that the entire Texas Tech University community is proud of your achievements, as are your parents, family, loved ones, and friends who are sharing this day with you. As much as graduation is about you, the graduate, it's also about the people who helped you get to this moment. Your education has not been a solitary endeavor. This is not a journey you've taken alone. Your families and friends have been there beside you. And I'd like to ask all members of the graduates' families to please stand. And graduates, let's give them a round of applause. Thank you for your support. You may be seated. Also, during your time at Texas Tech, the faculty have done more than share their knowledge of the subject matter. They provided tools you'll need for success in your future. Some have inspired you, and many have become your friends, and we all take much pride in your successes. We have an outstanding faculty at Texas Tech University, and I'd like our faculty to now please rise, and let's give them a round of applause. Thank you. Thank you, and you may be seated. To Chancellor Duncan and each member of the Texas Tech University Systems Board of Regents, thank you for your vision and your guidance. Graduates, your departure from this arena today is another reminder that change is inevitable. But by virtue of your experience at Texas Tech University, you've established friendships that will last a lifetime. These relationships are a source of stability and fulfillment. Nurture these friendships and hold close to your connections to Texas Tech University. You and this university will be better for it. Texas Tech University will always be your home. Return to campus when you can. Speak well of your alma mater and tell the world with pride that you're a Red Raider. To the class of August 2015, my heartfelt congratulations to all of you and best wishes for success, and guns up! And now, our alma mater will be led by Miss Amy Moss, who just received her master's degree in music education. The words are located on the back cover of your program and also on the big screen in the arena. Let's everyone please rise for the singing of the Matador song.
Bill, Ben,
Will the parents and guests of our graduates please be seated for the recessional? After the recessional, graduates will meet their family and friends outside the north end of the arena. Thank you for participating in this, the August 2015 commencement for Texas Tech University. And again, guns up!